Good evening, it's 5:30 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order for the Fargo Board of Education, Tuesday, March 26th. Is there a motion for approval of the agenda?
I move adoption of the agenda with the addition of item 6D, which would be the HR addendum that was in front of us at our workstations.
Okay, there's been a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Robin, for a second. Thank you. All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to our student performance, and we have a birthday here today of a board member. I don't know if we have any other birthdays in the room tonight, but Christy Ulrich has a birthday, and so we decided that this is part of her birthday celebration here. So thank you for joining us tonight to help us celebrate music in our schools month. Cassie Knapp, would you like to, is Cassie here, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit and then I'll introduce them too, so. But if
Perfect.
you wanna introduce her now, that's
Well, why don't you go ahead, and then maybe you'd like to make an introduction? We'll
okay.
get
Well,
going, thank you.
I'll introduce Denise. Denise Odegaard is our music and drama facilitator. And so we really appreciate her. Well, my first job in the, sounds kind of echoey. My first job in the district was organizing the music schedule, and I thankfully didn't have to do that because Denise was able to lead on that, so I'm appreciative.
It's great to have the opportunity. So as it was noted, it's Music in Our Schools Month and it's almost over, but we're gonna celebrate whenever we can. So we wanna appreciate the opportunity. I come in once a year and we share some kind of musical thing with you that we're doing in the district. And our students do a lot of different things in music. They sing, they play, they dance, they act, performing arts, they create, they perform, respond, and today we're going to have a little taste of our co-curricular folk dancing group from Centennial, and this is Cassie Knapp, and she has 8 students here today that are going to do some folk dancing up close and personal with you, and don't worry, you don't have to come out. They won't pull you out onto the dance floor. So some of the reasons why we do folk dancing, a lot of teachers will do this in the music class too, because it builds a lot of motor skills, and they're learning patterns, and they have to, you know, you'll see some of these patterns are pretty complicated. So, and they also learn things about other cultures. So we have 3 different folk dances from 3 different cultures today, and that's just a way to celebrate who we all are together. So do you want to come in with your group, Cassie? Do you think they could sing Happy Birthday?
Sure they can. Whose birthday is it?
Christy, raise your hand. On into the circle and we'll sing Happy Birthday. If I would have known, I would have brought a cake, but I didn't have that knowledge. They sing Happy Birthday first? Okay. I noticed the board members chickened out, most of you singing that with her. I'm going to have Mrs. Knapp introduce her 8 students.
We have Belle Dela Cruz, Mason Hoyk, Hannah Cow, Elise Knapp, Sophia Lynn, Marin Miller, Xavier Muse, and Karenna Thurlow.
And this group is from Centennial, and they're 4th and 5th graders. And how, you have a bigger group that usually rehearses? Yes. How many do you have?
I think there's about 25 total right now.
This is co-curricular, and they're going to start with a simple square dance. Are you ready, kids? Okay, here we go.
Honor to your partner. Honor to your corner. Wave to the folks across the square. All join hands and circle to the left. Keep going. Now the other way back on the same old track with a clickety-clack. When you get home, you Alaman left your corner. Do-si-do, your partner, Alaman left your corner. And now you promenade the square, promenade. First couple, back to back. Separate round the outside track. When you meet your partner, pass 'em by. When you get home, you swing your own. Swing your partner round and round. Swing 'em all around the town. Now Alaman left your corner. Do-si-do, your partner, Alaman left your corner. And now you promenade the square. Promenade around you go. 1 foot high and the other foot low. Second couple, back to back. Separate round the outside track. When you meet your partner, pass 'em by. When you get home, you swing your own. Swing your partner round and round. Swing 'em all around the town. Now Alaman left your corner. Do-si-do, your partner, Alaman left your corner. And now you promenade the square. Promenade. Third couple, back to back. Separate round the outside track. When you meet your partner, pass 'em by. When you get home, you swing your own. Swing your partner round and round. Swing 'em all around the town. Now Alaman left your corner. Do-si-do, your partner, Alaman left your corner. And now you promenade the square. Promenade around you go. 1 foot high and the other foot low. Fourth couple, back to back. Separate round the outside track. When you meet your partner, pass 'em by. When you get home, you swing your own. Swing your partner round and round. Swing 'em all around the town. Now Alaman left your corner. Do-si-do, your partner, Alaman left your corner. And now you promenade the square. Promenade.
The next dance that they're going to share with you is a Mexican mixer. And the last dance is a Russian dance called Sasha.
Thank you very much to Mrs. Knapp and her Centennial folk dancers from Centennial, way on the other end of town. And I think this folk dance group has been going steady for about 30 years since Centennial opened, maybe before that. So it's a tradition that's kept going. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. You may come this way, and thanks for singing happy birthday also. And we were going to have Sharon Eide come and do her little spiel on visual arts, and so I'm just going to represent all arts tonight. She has a big event at Claire Barton tonight, so just to talk through some of the things that the arts do for kids. I'm just not going to read these to you, but in speech and language, there's benefits to learning music at an early age. It helps your development in speech and complex language functions. We also have benefits cognitively. Kids learn mental control and self-regulation, so there's a lot of discipline involved with the arts and having to do certain things at certain times with certain people and making decisions on the fly based on what's going on around you. So there's a lot of skills that kids develop through that, reasoning and problem solving. When you're in a band of 80 and everybody starts to take a different tempo, what do? You have to make those decisions. I'm not just saying that happens in band, that happens in every group. But you do have to make some split-second decisions and decide what you're going to do to fix the problem. And so there's some really great skills there. Motor skills, like you just saw, coordination, balance, motor skills. There's also when you're playing an instrument, you have that muscle memory that develops. And with all the neuroscience research right now, they're really pinpointing that playing an instrument is probably the only thing that uses your whole brain, and it does develop so many great skills that apply to the rest of your life. And it's not, we used to just say that, now we really have science to back that up. Sensory, hearing, sight, touch, and other sensations. We know that kids today have some sensory challenges, and so this really helps to develop that. Social emotional learning is one of our initiatives in the district. We just had somebody at our professional development day do a workshop, a day-long workshop with our performing arts teachers about social emotional learning in the music classroom. And we know, and we've proven, I guess you can talk to almost any student that has been involved in music, their self-concept of who they are and their self-esteem does raise when they are able to perform successfully and master skills at different levels. It's also a great place to express emotions. A lot of kids will say the arts are some of their favorite classes during the day because they can just go do self-expression. And I know, speaking from experience, I probably went in my music room and played the piano loudly at times. You're frustrated about something. Relationships, these kids, like I said, if they're in an 80-piece group, or even working together here, they have to learn to work together, and they have to really think about each other in a positive way, in a respectful way, and to talk about their differences and how they're going to work together when you all have to do the same thing at the same time. Gifted and talented kids, this is a great place for them to really have unlimited challenges because they can go from one level to the next level to the next level. The world of work. We know that there are a lot of skills that workplace is looking for, and I know they are called soft skills, like the 21st century skills, getting along, all those things. But now they're discovering those aren't really soft skills. Those are really pretty hard skills that you have to learn, and so the arts develop a lot of that with kids. One thing I want to commend this school district and the school board for is there are no barriers for our kids to participate in arts. And I know I say this every year, but we have new board members now. So if any student wants to play an instrument, we provide that. If any student wants to be a part of anything, we provide that. And that's pretty unique across the country because there are kids in school districts that are only in those performing groups because they have money to do it. And so our district has really gotten rid of that barrier. And another barrier is for kids with special needs. We have adaptive music classes, and we also allow kids with any kind of needs to be in any of our groups, and we work with making them successful. So that I have to really commend the school district for. And I just found this list on what school boards can do, and you do a lot of these things. Again, I'm not going to read them, but you do go to concerts and you do support teachers when you're invited to things. And you think very carefully about how to make the arts continue in the manner that they have for a long time. And I know I say this every year too, but I grew up in Fargo Public Schools, and I just realized this is my 50th year in Fargo Public Schools. I came in 1969 in 5th grade, so. So it's been going on a long time, and we've sustained that through a lot of different things. So we really appreciate that too. And what can a superintendent do? I mean, everything that's on these lists you guys are doing, so we want to thank you for that. And then we just found out this week we have been selected as one of the best communities for music education again for the 16th year. So we continue that standard of excellence. So that's amending on our celebration note. So thank you very much for letting us share tonight, and thank you for all the support that you give all of our teachers in the performing arts.
Thank you very much, Denise. Does anyone have questions or comments? Mr. Condi?
Yeah, I just wanted to recognize Denise and for everything that she does and her leadership in terms of music education. I think I thought about when you were speaking earlier, I was going to say thank you for what you've done. I didn't want to mention how many years you've been with Fargo Public Schools, but I did want to bring up the fact that we have been recognized 16 years in a row nationally for the arts education that we provide, and that's been under your leadership, so we appreciate that, and thank you for everything that you've done.
Well, and we owe it to all the teachers that work so hard and make it happen. So it's not just one person, it's a group effort.
Jim?
I could be wrong, but is your term as president of the National Association up already, Denise? Well, I personally want to congratulate you on, obviously, the professionalism you share with our district, but also the work you did coast to coast, and actually, I think internationally a little bit with that organization, too. So kudos to you, and I think that reflects very well on us as well. So thank you.
It was a great experience. I learned a lot. I brought a lot back to this district, and that's what really, strengthens the district, to be able to have that experience of knowing what's going on in the world and how we could keep improving what we have. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Denise.
Okay. Have a wonderful meeting.
Have a good evening. All right, we do not have anyone that has signed up to address us this evening, so we'll move on to staff reports, FEA report. Heather, you're here
Hi,
for Laura.
yeah. I'm Heather Guy, if you're not sure who I am. I am filling in for Laura, who wanted to send her apologies. There was a medical emergency, so that's why she was not here with you last meeting, and then this meeting. Hopefully she'll be back with you. So if not, it'll be one of the 3 exec boards. We've kind of separated out some of those things. So just wanted to start our propaganda a little bit for our FEA scholarship that we're going to be sending out, that we offer to seniors at all the high schools. We're getting that drafted, and we will have that out to the counselors, and then we share that with the Journey. And we hope to give out 4 scholarships again this year to deserving seniors. And I know you will get a formal invite, but just to put it on your calendars, our FEA retirement social will be May 9th at the Ramada by Wyndham on 13th Avenue from 4 to 7. So we'll be acknowledging all of our retirees and having some silent auction baskets, and also looking to have, if teachers have other like vendor things that they might do on their other time that they might bring in to sell to and donate some of the profits to our scholarships. So thanks for having me. Thanks for your patience.
Thank you, Heather. Does anyone have questions for Heather? Okay, moving on to the superintendent report. Mr. Gandhi?
I don't have much today. I think I just want to recognize that I wanted to just publicly acknowledge Jim and our maintenance group and all the different vendors and contractors we work with, as we had the partial roof collapse at Centennial over spring break, because they worked around the clock to make sure that that building was safe for students to come back on Monday, and it was. So we are now working with our insurance company to outline the scope of work. That work will probably go into the summer, probably well into the summer. As we clear debris, we get the roof. Right now we have a temporary tarp over the roof, and then we'll look at replacing the roof once students are out this summer. So that's kind of where we are with that. So that is pretty much it for the superintendent's update. And I believe Anne Marie left an SBA travel information for you at your seats. So that's there for you as well.
Thank you. And the legislative update, Mr. Gandhi, Jackie?
Yeah, today's gonna be Jackie.
I do think we'll spend more time after the board meeting on that. The big bill that's out there still is our funding bill, which is Senate Bill 2265, which just on Friday got notified, it is really echoey. We got notified of many changes that have been placed into that bill, so we'll discuss that a little further. That's the main one we're watching right now.
Rupak?
And then one thing that I will add on is, most of you received an email from me this morning about the CTE bill and the implications of the Career Workforce Academy, and just some messaging that needs to be cleared up from there as well. We are in support of that bill. We would want funding for a Career Workforce Academy. It's just a matter of what is that model. So I believe Robin's going to be sharing something with the board members to share with legislators as well. But we'll put that together in terms of where we are, and just wanted to clarify why I sent that email this morning.
Thank you. Anyone have questions for either Jackie or Rupak at this point? Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda, is there a motion for approval? Robin?
I move approval of the consent agenda with the HR addendum.
And is there a second?
Second.
All right, a motion by Robin, second by Christie. And is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. There are no items on the business agenda. We'll move on to board reports, committee liaison, and correspondence reports. Robin, would you like to start, please?
Thank you. We did not have our regular GAC meeting just because there's a bit of a lull, and I think the dialogue has been pretty heavy. Just thought I would highlight a couple bills here just to give you some updates. You can all sleep a little bit easier. Senate Bill 2230, which was originally introduced to prohibit any individual serving on a school board that had a felony or certain host of misdemeanors, has been amended. That no longer affects us. It only addresses those school boards on native reservations. So that make you sleep a little bit easier. I'm being facetious, of course. House Bill 1346 talks about changing instructional days to hours. That's still alive. It is in the Senate Education Committee and will likely be heard in committee this week. We don't have that in the schedule yet, though, so I think that is an important one as we go into negotiations and continuing negotiations to talk about. Senate Bill 2300, that was the bill that we were very supportive of, that our local Senator Kyle Davison was the champion of about dollars through DHS and behavioral health grants. That bill that we supported was came out of a do not pass 14-0 from the Senate committee, and it was defeated on the floor. That doesn't mean it's over. It was defeated so it can kind of be consolidated into some other bills. So that conversation is still alive, but it was duplicative. So continue to watch that. It'll be rolled in, I assume. House Bill 1464, we opposed, and it was defeated. That bill was the study of a school choice program. I did watch the floor testimony on that today. Some of the reasons that it was defeated, our senators felt that we have really good selection of school choice in North Dakota with homeschool, distance, and alternative ed and scholarship programs. The biggest concern was by the Senate Education Chair, Senator Shibley said it moves public dollars to private dollars, and therefore the state would not be able to fulfill its constitutional obligation to education in North Dakota. So that was defeated as well. Other than that, a lot of the funding bills are still moving through, and they're kind of convoluted, so this is when things kind of hash themselves out. This is period 3. If you think about hockey, we're coming down to the last, and that's how they refer to it, as you guys know, being out in Bismarck. So things start to get wrapped together and consolidated. So we thought it was exciting before, and now we got to watch very closely. So it's been a ride, and it's been fun. If I don't have any other liaison reports, other than I've been in Bismarck a lot. So, any questions?
Thank you, Robin. Does anyone have questions for Robin? Okay. John?
I just realized maybe I should have mentioned this when Denise was here. I did attend the Ben Franklin musical, middle school musical. They performed The Lion King Jr., and it was really, honestly astounding. They had, if you're aware of the Broadway musical at all, the costuming is pretty incredible, and they had very similar costumes for this. The giraffes were on stilts. The elephant was huge. The performances were wonderful. The students did all of the lighting and sound, and the set was incredible. So yeah, kudos to all of that. We met with the FEA negotiations back on the 18th. We'll be meeting with them again on the 15th of April. It's a Monday right here at 4:30 p.m. And looking forward to the national convention this weekend with the rest of you. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Jennifer?
So Communications Committee met, and we talked about a couple things moving into the future here, future educational opportunities, for example, with Aspen, some of the things coming up around wisdom sharing, as well as NSBA. And one of the things the committee wants to do moving forward is to attempt to try and pre-plan some of the sessions that we attend, and in attempt to choose some of them that would align with our current strategic plan, and then also obviously still ask that you attend ones that inspire you as well, to bring ideas back to the district. But in an attempt to do that, Mr. Gandhi offered to, in your board focus, you may have seen, and if not, maybe take a peek at it before we travel, some recommendations on those that might closely align to what is in our strategic plan. So thank you for that. It was very helpful. Additionally, we'll continue that conversation and review at our next committee meeting the budget and how maybe we want to, or if there are any different recommendations moving forward, to kind of mix that up a little bit in the future. And as well, we talked about inviting thought leaders to speak. And tonight is an example of one of those ideas that came to the surface. And Jackie and Mr. Gandhi will be talking at a work session. So we started the conversation around who would those people be and on what topics. Would it be around negotiations, school law, governance, obviously school finance, just the ones that rose to the surface, but more to come on those topics. The next meeting is April 15th at noon. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Jim?
The Community Development Committee canceled their current meeting due to the flood preparation work that's going on at City Hall. Actually, they've canceled two, because we were going to have a joint meeting with the Planning Commission too, but both of those will get rescheduled probably for the second half of April. Had an SEEC board meeting. Nothing too dramatic came out of that. We talked a little bit, well, we finished up our exec director's evaluation. Really talked mostly about legislative updates that impacted the SEEC, and then a little bit about what potential new programs or opportunities might exist for us to get involved with. One that we're exploring pretty deeply right now, don't think it'll impact Fargo Public Schools, is really creating a coalition of school districts to buy health insurance, which we're large enough as an employer, we can do our own self-funded plan, and we have managed that pretty well. But most of the school districts throughout our region do not have enough people in their plan to go self-funded, even with a modest kind of stopgap contract. But hopefully through a pooling of those groups, that might be a possibility. So that's something that's getting worked on pretty hard. I would guess it's still 6 months to a year away before it would be launched, but there seems to be a fair amount of interest in local school districts. And I think that's about it.
Thank you, Jim. Christy?
First of all, I want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes. It's been a great day so far. And negotiations meeting, I was in attendance there. And then on the 19th, we had the task force meeting for building usage and building or capacity and usage. And on this first meeting, it was mainly ground rules that were gone over and a lot of information to share with people. So our next meeting is April 2nd, and I think Dr. Gross and Mr. Gandhi did a really nice job of leading that, as well as the woman from the city that talked about things. So we will be moving into the next phase, separating into small groups at the next meeting.
Thank you, Christy. Does anyone have questions for Christy regarding the task force she's serving on right now? Okay, Brandy.
I just have one thing here, and that's for the Fargo Youth Initiative. They met on the 17th of March, and everything is pretty much set in order for their big Impact Fargo. They have all their registration forms out there, and it was just a matter of, you know, crossing the T's on everything that they need to get ready for it. And that will be April 15th. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. Brian?
I attended the communications meeting that Jennifer led. We've had on the calendar committee, we've had 2 meetings. I was at the first meeting, was unable to attend the second one. It's been interesting. Dr. Gross does a great job leading that, having put together 23 calendars by myself in the previous years, not having help. It's been interesting, to say the least, to do it this way. It's been very calm, I think, and lots of different ways to look at things. Calendars are tough to put together because everybody wants their own little ways and things, but we have another meeting now on Thursday, and I won't be able to attend that one either, unfortunately. This music experience has brought back memories for me, having attended school in the 70s and the early 80s. It was very much an important part of our lives in terms of having gone to school in Mount Lake Terrace in Washington. We took and had physical education. Music was a big part of physical education, and we learned to social dance, and it was a requirement. And we even took that in the 80s. In 8th grade, you will learn to social dance, and we did. And we had a Fayette circus, I remember, to raise money in Stanley High School, and there was probably 500-600 people there. And basically what you were doing is you were putting all your acts together, showcasing physical education. One of the things was social dance, and I was one of those that social danced in front of 500 people in 8th grade. So these kids just took me back in time, and music is important in our household, and we do appreciate Fargo board and past boards to have the music that we have. Our family really loves it, and so thank you guys for all.
Thank you, Brian. The president's report has been distributed. On the report, the assignments for graduation are indicated. So if there are any assignments that end up not working out schedule-wise, if you could work with, well, let me know, let Anne Marie know, I would imagine, but work to try to find someone that would take your place. But most of the assignments, I believe, were able to be made according to wishes, and a couple folks didn't make any specific requests. So at any rate, hopefully that all works out for you. Looking forward to graduation already. Also, the Native American Commission meeting coming up in April has been canceled for the same reason Jim mentioned, with the city focusing on the flood. And so the next Native American Commission meeting is May 2nd at noon, assuming we aren't in the same state of emergency situation. I will be at the Live United event tomorrow. Governance is this Thursday at 7:30 in the morning. And I just wanted to echo what Jennifer said in the communications report about sessions to attend at NSBA, and thanks, Rupak, for the list. It was a long list. Took a little time for you to put together, but too, just even while it is important to attend sessions that pertain to, the immediate needs and interests of the district, like Denise mentioned, having that worldview is something that we need to keep in mind. So there's nothing wrong with attending those sessions and coming back and being super inspired to work for our students and our staff of Fargo schools. So obviously, just like we've done in the past, choose what works for, what works for you and what inspires you, and if there is a session that you get into and you decide you don't like it. I remember Jim telling me this, that maybe sit maybe on the end of the row or towards the back in case, you know, what you read in the booklet sounded really great, and you get there and you find out that it might not be exactly what you were thinking, or that it doesn't apply like you thought it did. You can scoot out and go on to the next another session. So I try to take that advice, but enjoy your time in Philadelphia. And I don't have anything else for the president's report, and I don't believe we have anything else for our agenda, so we can,
President Knutson?
okay,
I
John?
would move that we enter executive session for the purpose of negotiations
Okay,
as permitted under Century Code 44-04-19.1.
okay, there's been a motion and a second to enter into executive session. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? Motion passes. We'll enter an executive session, and it is 6:06 PM. So if you are not a board member or a member of administration, if you could please clear. Is there any other business that needs to be brought in front of the board for this evening's meeting? Okay. 7:16 PM, we are adjourned. Thank you.